Educational technology. According to Januszewski and Melinda, educational technology is the study and ethical practice of facilitating learning and improving performance by creating, using, and managing appropriate technological processes and resources. The purpose of this presentation is twofold. First, we seek to deepen our understanding of the field of education technology. Second, we aim to demonstrate that deeper understanding by outlining and explaining the scope of the field. Due to the breadth, depth, and constant evolution of the field, we will use the metaphor of a boat, particularly a racing yacht, to illustrate the discipline that is educational technology. The complexity of a racing yacht mirrors the scope of the field of EdTech, so we will be selective in the yacht components we use in our presentation. The hull of the yacht will represent foundational learning theories and their development. The ballast will represent ethical practices in facilitating learning. Yacht racing rules and codes will link our thinking to the AECT ethical standards. The yacht's sails and riggings, its power source, will illustrate EdTech's research, design, and development. Navigation will show the well-defined process of design and development in EdTech. Finally, the yacht architect, engineers, captain, and crew complete the metaphor by illustrating the management, utilization, and facilitation processes central to EdTech. The hull is the foundation of speed and stability for every racing boat. Early foundations of education technology allowed it to advance rapidly while remaining true to a learner-centered approach. At the center of EdTech is the goal of learning. Learning theories continue to progress on the works of Dewey, Bandura, and Skinner. Just as hull design changed with advancements in fabrication tech and materials, EdTech advanced from the foundational education and learning psychology to more modern theories built on their predecessors. B.F. Skinner's behaviorism, the idea that learning is a product of rewards and punishments, became the foundation for constructivism, the theory that knowledge is constructed by learners' experiences. Albert Bandura, a constructivist, was the architect of social learning theory, the idea that learning is environmental through the learner's observational activities. Jerome Bruner, also a constructivist, theorized that learners construct new ideas based on their current and prior knowledge. Instruction in Bruner's view was guiding the learner to self-discovery of new principles. Cognitivism is the study of how we think and gain knowledge. Critical players in this learning theory's development include Jean Piaget, who theorized the different stages of cognitive development, and Lev Vygotsky, who saw peer and mentor interaction as keys to intellectual growth. The hull of a racing boat remains mostly unseen by observers. The ballast serves a critical role in keeping the boat upright during stressful racing conditions and rough seas. Ethical practices in facilitating learning may go unnoticed because of efficiency, effectiveness, and learning gains. However, the needs of marginalized groups and those without a voice should be central to our methods to facilitate learning. At the center of the sport of yacht racing is the reality that it is a competition. Some may debate the fairness of yacht racing rules and regulations governing the sport to keep it fair for all participants. The body that directs ethical practice in the field of EdTech is the AECT, the Association for Educational and Communications Technology. The AECT Code of Ethics ensures that all members of the education community and technology profession maintain high levels of commitment to the needs of individual learners and maintain high levels of commitment to society, particularly the safe development and use of communication media and learning technologies. And finally, maintain a high level of professionalism in interactions with other professionals, accurately portraying the research results, professional credentials, and promoting best practices in using technology in education. The sails of a racing yacht are the power source that moves the boat forward. Research and development are the power source of EdTech. Educational needs are continually evolving as the needs of society, the people and organizations that comprise it, are always progressing. Research in EdTech tends to be contextualized and practical. While that sounds limiting, in fact, EdTech research drives the discipline forward by identifying a problem in the current practice, implementing developmental and design techniques that redefine the course to lead to more satisfactory outcomes. It goes without saying that technology is central to EdTech. It should be noted that research leads to some technologies being developed mainly for educational purposes, while other existing technologies are adapted or adopted for educational purposes. These tools are frequently under a revision and improvement process. Tools that do not adapt and improve become relics. Just as sails have changed in their rigging and materials over time, researchers continually look to the past working theories as guiding points to improve existing tools and methodologies or develop new ones to solve newly identified problems. It should be noted that EdTech does not exist solely in the traditional educational framework. EdTech's developmental process is applied to and includes both problems of learning and task performance. When human improvement performance is required to improve outcomes, instruction is devoted specifically to the task. Often, task performance problems are solved by developing more efficient ways to complete tasks. As sails deliver the power to drive the boat forward, navigation is vital in keeping the boat on course, efficiently moving toward the next buoy that marks a race course. In EdTech, the forward movement is managed. Like starting lines, course buoys, and nautical charts, Morrison, Ross, and Kalman and Kemp describe EdTech design and development as beginning with a problem to be solved, evaluating the learner's needs and abilities, and thoroughly analyzing the task and instructional objectives. Then, instructional strategies are selected, delivery methods are designed, content is sequenced, instruction is developed, and evaluative instruments are created or selected. Though technology is central to EdTech, so too is education. Education involves people. The focus of yacht racing may be on the boat with its powerful sails and rigging, but behind that technology stands a team of human players that cannot be discounted. The same is true in EdTech. Human resources are critical to success. Successful racing yachts have a design architect who works closely with a team of engineers to create and maintain a boat capable of winning. The design process results in a blueprint used to construct the vessel. An engineering team makes decisions about what components to include in the boat and develops a management and maintenance plan for each element. It doesn't matter if the person is a technology manager, a district superintendent, or an operations officer. There's a human management team guiding the development, implementation, ongoing maintenance, and personnel training in the world of EdTech. This team is concerned with integrating and administering instructional resources, when and how technological resources will be deployed, and training technology users. Their goal is to integrate and utilize resources in the learning theater. Rather, the theater is a classroom or job site. Their job does not end at implementation and integration. Evaluative tools are applied to the outcomes of instruction and training. Thus, there is an iterative process that provides a platform for continual development leading to improved learning outcomes. When the boat is ready to race, a captain is selected. As the word captain implies, he or she will be the responsible decision maker in the boat's racing operations. The most critical decision a captain will make is in the selection of his or her crew. In the business world of EdTech, there's the ability to select a team. In the educational world, those decisions are usually determined by geography or some other deciding factor outside the educator's influential scope. However, like the boat captain, the goal remains the same: facilitate the transfer of control over their learning process to active participants who gain knowledge from their hands-on experience. Educators leverage technological processes and technological resources in such a way that the learners not only become involved, but also assume responsibility for their future learning. The crew of a racing yacht takes ownership of his or her tasks on the boat. They learn from experience and become better team members. From an observer's standpoint, the crew's movements during a race appear to be a well-orchestrated performance. Each individual task is under constant evaluation to save seconds. The iterative and learning process never ceases. So too, educational technologists integrate technology, align the design, implement the lesson, and assess the learning task to promote self-directed, critical thinking, and lifelong learners. A yacht race has a clearly defined beginning and ending. However, there's always the next race in the ultra-competitive world of international yacht racing, where new challengers arise to threaten the champion's reign. There's also clearly defined beginnings and endings to a set course of learning or task improvements in EdTech. Like a race, the endpoint is some type of assessment where winners are identified. Performance is always a goal in EdTech. Performance may be defined as performing a task more quickly with lower costs while maintaining quality standards. In educational settings, performance is difficult to measure as learner performance may not be recognizable until a subsequent class or area of learning. Every metaphor is limited because it's not the thing it portrays in an explanatory fashion. Yachts and yacht racing are some of the most complex areas of competition in the world. The costs involved and the national pride make every decision closely scrutinized and critiqued to facilitate future improvements in performance. At its core, EdTech is about facilitating learning and improving performance. Problems arise in the business world for which investors, capital, and employees' livelihoods demand our solutions. In educational settings, the obligation to society requires solutions to the gaps in learning, the underperformance of specific student groups, and new demands of the ever-growing complexity of the world in which we live.